Alright guys, welcome back. I'm in a truck today. Just gonna give a little update. I didn't film anything yesterday, so we were just hauling, working, trying to get as much out as we can. Josh is loading me up right now, but let me show you kind of where we're at. Right now, their scraper tractor is scraping the corrals, the sloppy corrals in here. So we've pretty much got that whole side of this upper area all cleaned out. All we have left is this little bit in the corner over here that Josh is working in. That's all we've got left is over there. So this area is just about cleaned out. We'll have this cleaned out today. Need to roll my window down so I can hear when he honks his horn. But we'll have this area cleaned out today. And then Trevor is back in the very back where I was in the last video, working on that back pad. So I imagine once we get this cleaned out, Josh will probably move back there as well, and we'll be taking all the trucks back there to try and get back there cleaned out. So, all right, looks like I'm full. I'm gonna take off here and go unload my truck. It's a lot of cows. A lot of you have been asking for like a dairy tour or to just see the milking process and all that. Well, we don't own the dairy, so we haul their manure out and we grow hay for them. My uncle actually owns the dairy, and I honestly haven't asked to see if we could come do a video on the dairy. I don't really know. It's actually, so my uncle owns it, but my cousin basically runs it. So maybe I'll ask him, see if we could, but no promises. I know a lot of places, at least around here in Idaho, people are a little leery of allowing people to come in and check it out. There's a big dairy just south of us that they just built a big like automated barn. So I don't know how many cows they have. I think there's over 1,000 cows in there, but it's a big automated milk barn. So there's no people in there. I think even the feeding and the scraping of the corrals is all done by like robots. So they just built a huge, and it's only about 2 miles south of us. So, and they did, granted, I don't know who he was talking to, but somebody told my brother that they could, that we could come out and do a video once it's all up and running. It's not fully running yet, so we'll see. But that would be really cool. I want to see it. So if that does happen, it'll be pretty cool. It'll probably happen this winter sometime. So you can look forward to that. But for right now, we're just gonna haul some more manure. We are making a little bit of a mess on the road. You can see these little spots where like a clump has dropped and then splattered. So it's a little messy. It's not completely solid, but it's working. Also, one reason it's not just the making a mess on the road is why we want more solid manure. It's the fact that when we get out into the field, it spreads better when it's solid. So I'll show you that here in a minute. Okay, I'm just out here, just got to the field. We're probably about 2/3 done with this field, maybe. We'll see. I think we are. Shift down to first. Gotta turn on my PTO. Enable my beaters. I'm gonna start to lift my gate up as I drive forward. Hopefully, I gotta steer at the same time. There, you can see the gate going up in the back. The manure is starting to come out. So we are in a little bit sloppier manure today. At least where Josh is loading. I'm gonna speed my floor speed up. There. See it flinging back there. So when it's sloppy, you get big clump. You can see right here, it's just like plops out. It doesn't spread super well. when we do get solid manure, like where Trevor's at, his is a little bit more solid. So like right here, it's not too bad. So there's sloppy spots and some solid spots, but for the most part, it's spreading pretty good. But my load is probably just plopping it out. It's not spreading super well because these trucks, they don't have a bottom, like a third beater. So our old trucks, they used to all have a third beater down below that would catch all the sloppy stuff, and it would spread it out a little bit more. But they all broke. I think there's only one truck that still has those third beaters, but these BTR beds don't even have it. So if we do haul sloppy stuff, it just runs out the back, doesn't even touch the beaters, and just plops out onto the ground. So we like to get it as solid as we can. See, it is flinging it pretty good. If we can get it as solid as we can actually get a pretty good spread on the field. But we're doing the best we can with what we've got, I guess. We just have to finish this little bit of this field. The next field is directly across the street from the dairy. So once we get this field done, the next field is really close. It's taking a little bit longer to cover this field because it's a longer haul, so the loaders are having to wait more. But we are getting it done. I imagine by the end of the day we will finish this field because we don't have too much more to do. So I'm going to keep hauling. We're going to get this load unloaded. You see it flinging. As I get near the end of the field, it does start to slow down. But we'll get it, and I'll keep loading, and we'll keep getting manure hauled. Well, I'm back here at the dairy. Josh's loader broke. I'm guessing the wheel seal went out again, so I'm back here getting loaded by Trevor. I'm almost full. This might be the last scoop, we'll see. Maybe. Nope. So my bed is one of the bigger beds, so it can hold a lot. And this is a little more solid, so he can actually load it up good. But yeah, Josh is... So his wheel seal went out on our 721 last week, and still not full. But yeah, his wheel seal went out, and so they came out, and they weren't the bolts. The bolts were rusted on, and they couldn't get the bolts off without cutting them. So instead of cutting the bolts off and having to make a big mess and possibly having to take it in, they oh, looks like I'm full, but they decided instead to they fixed the brake line somehow. I don't know how they got in and fixed the brake line, but they fixed the brake line that caused it to break in the first place. Basically the brake line broke, flooded the axle tube with oil, and then blew the seal out on the wheel seal. So they fixed the brake line, and then they just tapped the seal back in. They said it was a temporary fix. And I just saw Josh drive back by with the Volvo, so I'll be loading over there with him for my next load. But looks like the wheel seal didn't hold because he's back using the Volvo. So I'm gonna go unload this load, and then we'll go have Josh load me with the Volvo. All right, I'm out here with Josh now in our Volvo. This is a little bit sloppier manure. Ooh, lovely. I gotta shut my door because sometimes it hits the ground and splatters up into, as you can see, my window's covered in manure, so. Yeah, definitely not solid. So this loader is much older. I'm gonna get hit if I don't shut the door. This loader is much older and not as fast as our case loaders, but we'll get it loaded up here and go out and unload it again. Hey, I'm back out here to get loaded. Looks like he just finished loading that one. Looks like he's probably only got I mean, after me, there's not gonna be much left. Back up here. Oh, there he is. See the little pile of manure back there. There's his loader bucket right there. And stop. Definitely not much left, at least not in this area. I'm not sure where he's gonna go after this. I know they were hauling more solid down over there. So the middle area, if you see right there, there's a pile of solid that they've stacked up. So Josh might go down there and start working on the drain. We'll see. I'm gonna guess that there's gonna be a lot of water in it. As you can see with the window, all that splatters from when he's scooping. A lot of crap. We've had this loader for as long as I can remember. It's old. It still works good. It's let's see, about 4 years ago, the engine went out. And just to tell you how old this loader is, when the engine, I don't think the engine went out. It was, okay, looks like I'm full. But it was blowing white smoke, had low power. We figured there was probably something wrong. They started looking at it and it needed a rebuild. Needed new pistons and stuff. So Josh looks like he's leaving. I don't know where he's going. But we basically took it to a mechanic and said, hey, this needs a new engine. So he looked everywhere he could worldwide to find an engine for that thing. He found 2 in the entire world. He found 2 engines for that Volvo. And the closest one was in Brazil. So they shipped an engine from Brazil and then they put that engine in. So it's got basically a new engine. It runs good. It starts good. Even when it's cold, it starts good. But it still is low power. So it just can't go quite as fast as the case loaders. It also, it doesn't have joysticks. It's got these little levers. So it's a little bit trickier to run. But it still works. It's a great backup. We used to use it full time. We ran 3 loaders. We'd run two trucks on the Volvo, and then we'd have 3 trucks on each of the case loaders. But that was back when we were loading our own trucks. Now that we don't load our own trucks, we don't need it. So it sits as a backup, and we've had to use it this year. So it's a good thing we have it. Well, I forgot to fill my truck up this morning, so I noticed I was almost out of gas. So I'm here at the pumps filling up. It's really windy out here. I see Christopher's got the backhoe over here digging up a hole in the yard. So once we're full here, I'm gonna go over there and see what he's found. I'm really sorry for all the wind out here, guys. So he's digging a pretty deep hole. You can see his bucket's clear down there. But also, if you can see, there's puddles. So we have the same water line that we just fixed over there is leaking right here. So it's an old water line that's leaked a whole bunch, and looks like it's just continuing to spring leaks everywhere. So yeah, this water line just keeps on leaking. Now look at that, cut all the electrical lines too. That's why we can't run a new water line, is because there's power here. So that's nice. So you can see right there, there's hose clamps. So that's where we fixed it before. Probably, I think it was about 2 years ago. 2 years ago we had to dig it up right here and fix it. It's about, I don't know, 5 feet down. So yeah, it really needs a new water line, but when we have electrical lines running all over the place, it's kind of hard to put in a new line. But we'll get this fixed up. I've got to go get back in my truck and go haul some more manure, but I thought I would come over here and see what he was doing. I don't know that these were live. I think those are old electrical lines, so because all the cellars and stuff are still on. So like we have a green light there, we have a green light there, so power's still on. So it must have been old lines that weren't live. So but yeah, we have to go cut the well off so he can fix that. Okay, we are done up in the upper area. So I'm headed back here to the back. This is where I was running the loader the other day. Trevor's back here loading right there. And Josh is right here. So both loaders are back here now. Trevor's hauling, Trevor's loading out of this main area, but they dumped a bunch of manure that was sloppy over here, just next to the field over here, all the way along the whole edge of the field, just so it would dry out. So that's where Josh is now loading. It's dried out. It was sloppy when they put it there, but it's nice and solid now. So we're gonna move along the edge of the field and get all this solid stuff. You can see how far it goes all the way down. We're gonna get this cleaned up over here. That way they can probably put some more here next time. But there's definitely a lot here. You can see through all the crap on my window. It's probably anywhere from 2 to 4 feet deep, depending on where you're at. Because I know they dumped it here and it was pretty thin because it was runny. And then it hardened and they pushed it up and then they dumped a second layer. So they've dumped quite a bit here to dry out, because this area over here where he's loading was full. So that's why they started dumping it over here, because they didn't have any more storage to put all their sloppy manure, because it was running clear up into the corrals where the cows are. So yeah, it can get a little messy sometimes when we aren't able to haul and can't get it all hauled. It can get kind of messy. So we're gonna keep on hauling right here, get all this cleaned up. I imagine by the end of the day, we'll have a lot of this cleaned up. But see how solid this is. Yeah, that's good solid. When it's solid, you can also haul a lot more per load, because you can actually stack it up nice and high. So that's one nice thing about that. We can get good piled up loads. All right, Josh is ready to load my truck. Trevor's over there loading another truck. Getting her loaded up. This will be my last load of the day. Looks like Josh is really working into this pile. It's pretty solid, but still has some moisture in it. It's been sitting here for a long time, but it hasn't dried out completely. Trevor's truck just left. He's definitely made a big dent in that area. So it goes back about right there, which is, he might have another maybe 50 feet that he can go. And then that's about empty, because in the very back there, it's just like full of water. There's not any manure back there. So the manure is only about halfway back. So he can't go much more, but I think the drag line is supposed to be out here sometime this week, and we'll get that and use that to load up manure out of the lagoon and out of where the weeping wall is. It smells lovely. Into the field. Looks like we are almost done with this field, but I'll get this thing turned on. There we go. We're flinging poo. Last load of the day, so we're not going to quite finish this field today. This storm, by the way, has just been going around us all day. It was on that side, then it was behind us, then it was over the mountains. It's just been circling us all day, but it's never actually hit us. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, we have this field to do, and then after this field, we will be right across the street from the dairy. So it should be a really close haul. Should be able to get a lot done. I hope you guys have liked these manure hauling videos. I know they're not the most exciting videos, but yeah, if you like them, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. We have lots of content coming up this winter. We'll be fixing a lot of things, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff that broke that we got to work on, and a lot of things we have to service. We have to go through all these trucks and change all the oils and all the filters and everything. We have a lot of work to do this winter, so make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.